I mean, the whole experience has been pretty good. I've had a bit of a dabble into 3D before, both passive or cinema as they're now calling it, and active shutter. And I think that the TVs have come a long way sort of in the last 6 to 12 months compared to what they were when they first released. And there's been a lot of hype about it. And just looking at the technology today in what LG are launching, it's clear that they're going to be probably one of the market leaders, certainly in this passive active cinema capacity.
I think the key thing that's been brilliant is just that it's all passive. There's none of the active shutter, which has always put me off 3D TV.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was really sceptical about 3D. I've only seen it in shops, and that was done. I was active, but this passive, real cinema they're calling it now, LG, is fantastic. Really, it really works.
Passive is the way to go. You know, it doesn't really sacrifice quality unless you go on screens a huge size, and you know, and just the viewing angles, like I said, and things like that really just bring it to consumers a lot more. And you know, I'm definitely sold on, if I had to buy a 3D set, I would buy passive as opposed to active.
It's just so clear, and the viewing angle I thought was really good. Obviously, if you're right next to it at the side, you're not going to see it, but everyone was sort of in front of it. It's really clear, a lot brighter, as I said, and it did feel like you was watching a movie, but also you was sort of immersed in the game more. So it was very capturing. That's the best word, I think.
Been blown away actually by how well passive 3D works, because it's the same as the cinema. So that's been seeing that at home. Last year I noticed all the screens seem to be really dim. This year it seems to be really bright. There's no, even in the cinema sometimes you see that it's a little bit dim, but I've not noticed that at all with the stuff that we've seen today. So if that's what it's going to be like at home, which obviously it is, I think it's the way forward in terms of 3D viewing.
The wider viewing angle means you can have more people in a smaller space, being able to view proper 3D, and the Sky 3D on the LG screens is brilliant. The Cinema 3D really works. It gives a very, very good depth where the old 3D of the past just didn't give that. You've got the whole 3D effect throughout everything you're watching, which is just brilliant.
Like sport, for instance, is fantastic in 3D. You know, when you're watching sport, you get kind of a real sense of the speed and the motion through 3D.
It was really the depth, and I think it just the immersion that you get, you know, like reaches out to you, literally, and it just brings you in a whole lot more, and it makes the gaming experience that much greater. Because I mean, you see the games now, they're not just, you know, run and gunning and things like that. They've got a great story in there, and they're geared a lot more to a kind of a movie audience as well. If you're a gamer, you really understand that, and being able to have that great cinematic movie experience in those epic parts of the game, it just makes it so much more interesting and so much more fun. And having that 3D immersion, fantastic. I'm really up for it.
In terms of sport, I like when you're watching the football, I like the depth, being able to see how wide shots have gone, and if they're going over the bar, because sometimes in 2D, even though it's in HD, you sometimes notice that it looks a lot closer than it actually is, and when you see the replay from behind the goal and stuff, it's a lot wider. That term's good. In golf that I've seen, being able to see the ball in flight a lot easier and picking it out, it's just straight there. The films, obviously, you can't, that's just as close to the cinema you're going to get, if not better, because of the brightness of the picture.
My favourite was obviously with the gaming room. I think that's where 3D should be, sort of gaming, and the passive so much better than the active shutter. I know you can't really notice the difference too much, but it's a lot clearer, a lot brighter, and I'd definitely compromise on more space for them huge TVs just to play the Xbox, which was unbelievable. It felt like it was there, and there's none of the shutter, so it's nice and clear, nice and bright, a lot brighter than the shutter.
The gaming upstairs is fantastic. The depth in that is just perfect. I haven't played COD like that ever.
The glasses that they've given us are really comfortable.
The fact that it comes with 7 pairs of glasses, no batteries, quite a wide viewing angle, it makes it a lot easier for a consumer to just get straight into 3D. You know, you have a family, you have friends coming around, things like that. It just makes it a lot easier.
With the glasses that they've got, they're not as heavy or bulky or uncomfortable as the ones that you've seen before. So you don't even notice that you're wearing them. They are really comfortable, actually, I have to say. I was expecting them to be exactly the same as the ones at the cinema, but they're not. They're a lot more comfortable than that.
Because they are so simple to produce, it means they can fit many age groups. And I think that's the key thing. You know, on the active shutter ones, they are specifically designed for adult wear. And I've known a few friends who've had them and they said they don't fit the kids, they're too heavy, they fall off their nose, because the child's nose is smaller, they just fall off. And whereas these, you know, you can throw them around, pick them up, throw them down. If you scratch the lens, it's not a problem, you just replace them. If they break, you just replace them. It's only £1 a time. So, but putting them on, I mean, I've got, you know, I think that is slightly lower or whatever, but they fit nicely, they feel really comfortable, and you could wear them for an entire film without feeling they get in the way. I think that's really key.